school board member says she's giving Nashville Public Schools one last chance to turn over detailed invoices of a multi-million-dollar COVID-based no-bid contract.
Now, Fox 17 News, of course, has been following this story for weeks, and tonight our Dennis FERRIER with more eye-opening details as Fox 17 News investigates.
There are three big problems with this contract. One, there were no bids. Two, the cost up to $18 million for one semester. And three, the lack of detailed billing. When you're billing someone up to $18 million, you would expect a detailed invoice. But when Meharry Medical College Ventures presented its invoices to Nashville Public Schools, this is what they looked like. Bulk billing by category. And even though MMCV promised in the contract, quote, to provide any documentation requested, unquote, apparently MNPS didn't want any documentation, except for school board member Fran Bush, who is demanding it. What she got, what we got after weeks of demands, were a handful of memos and a couple of spreadsheets, not even close to what was asked for.
So I completely spelled it out on what I wanted to see as far as the amount of money that was being rendered for services, and I wanted to see an itemization. Unfortunately, I did receive some information, but it was clearly nothing that I expected and what I requested.
Look at this. MMCV says it launched the BackSafely.org website for almost $1.8 million. We took the invoice and the website to nationally recognized design group ironlight.com, who provides websites all over the country.
We have clients from really small nonprofits all the way up to $50 million organizations. So we've seen the whole skew of websites. I've had my hands on maybe 35 in the last 2 years.
What do they think of BackSafely.org? How much should it cost?
If I were to create a contract for a site like BackSafely, there's no way that I would charge more than $75,000. This is a very simple website. BackSafely is built on just a landing page, and then they're linking out to learning.backsafely.org, right? And that's an off-the-shelf learning platform.
The only support for this eye-popping $1.8 million website is a couple of memos from MMCV that states 3 members met for a total of 136 hours in February. There were another 215 hours spent in March. But far from clearing things up, it just doesn't seem to add up for anyone in the website business. How does 351 hours and a very basic website add up to $1.8 million?
$1.8 million for this website is outrageous. If you disagree, you should go look at it.
We asked MNPS, is not anyone concerned with a website startup of $1.8 million, considering people in the industry unanimously agree it should have cost under $100,000? The MNPS answer, quote, we do not have anything further to add regarding the website, unquote. Nevertheless, why in May, as stated in the memo, is there 64 hours of meetings developing plans to execute the BackSafely programs? MMCV says it spent an additional 137 hours developing software and revisions in May. It was at the end of the contract. Kids were getting out of school. Seems kind of late, but set that aside and ask, even if it's legitimate, why did it cost $587,000 for 200 hours of work? That's almost $3,000 an hour. Maybe there's more to it, but no one's provided it.
When you're billing something this high, you should probably line item that, right? So if I'm billing something for $500,000, I'm including a lot of detail because that's a lot of money. That's not what we're seeing here. It's vague. It doesn't go into the details. We don't have a lot of transparency. And with tax dollars, I find that troublesome.
So does school board member Fran Bush, who feels there is now only one option left.
So at this point, it needs to be a complete audit because I'm not getting the information. I know others have requested the information, and we're just not seeing where the money went to.
So you're calling for an outside audit?
I think it needs to be an outside audit. That way we are completely removed from the situation, and that way the outside auditors can do a much better job on asking for that information.
What really astounds Fran Bush is that she is the only person in Nashville Public Schools demanding an audit. No other school board members, no officials. Everyone seems just fine with things the way they are. I'm Dennis FERRIER, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.